got myself. I forgot to unmute myself. Can you now, Carol? You should be able to now. Well, maybe not. Oh, it is good now? Why am I not hearing it? Hmm. Hang on a minute. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Well, that's not it. Huh. Well, oh well, I'm not gonna worry about it. You guys can hear me. That's good enough. Good morning, Carol. Hello, Francisco. Hi, Diana. Welcome in. How is everybody today? Somebody type in so you can hear me so I know again. Brenda, can you hear me? Okay, you will say hi. Hey, you want to stand up and say hi? Hmm? Can I pick you up? Come here. No, he's not gonna. He's showing us his tail. Maybe later. You're sleepy. Well, it's not like Saturday and you're supposed to be, having a nice sleep in. And some goofy guy from Tennessee got you up drinking coffee at, I believe it'd be about, what, 8 a.m. at your house? Yo, you guys are central, aren't you? Goodness gracious. Edward. I mean, I took a handful of hair out of his tail. Yeah, I was going to change that. I realized you guys are central. Since Mike's not on here with you, I'm going to assume Mike is out getting the donuts or he's making the coffee. Hey, Dave, good morning. How are you? Are you up to anything today? I was going to try to look at something real quick while we're talking. Weather related. Weather channel. Do that. Because this might tell me if Mark, I don't think Mark's going to be here, but I was going to look at the weather out in Opal. Well, maybe I shouldn't say. Yeah, hell, Opal. See what the weather is like out there. What do you mean it didn't show up? Come on, computer. You got. Morning, Doug. Zippity doo, Doug. Zippity day, yay, yay, whatever. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Okay, I'm trying to pull up the right city here. thought about it, but I just couldn't get up. Well, what was this? I got back up here. I'm missing something. I've been up since 4 a.m. this morning. Oh my goodness, Francisco, you need a nap. Uh oh, Dave's cleaning. I can figure that out. Cleaning house and editing videos. Oh, I had two tornadoes in Los Angeles. Was that today? Oh, 2 days ago. Dave, you're going to set a bad example, buddy. Next thing I know, Brenda's going to be expecting me to get up and do that. Well, you guys take a beat. I got to figure out what's going on. I'm nosy. Brenda says you guys can still hear me. I can't. I couldn't hear myself. I still can't hear myself. I, Carol said, "Hi to your tail." Been up since 5:15. Um, Dave said he's well. Mike's at work. Oh man. Oh, Dave's trying, or Brenda's trying to get you to come up and do our house, or her house, Dave. I'm trying to figure out who the miserable people were that Diana was talking about. I don't know. Oh, coronation. Brenda asked about the coronation. Okay, I did too. Yeah, so you think the new king and queen look miserable? Somehow I don't doubt that. I'm not sure those two ever look unmiserable. Oh, yeah, I think our weather's gonna be nice too, Dave, although it's a bit overcast. Would this be a good time to mention that Danny cleaned our house yesterday? No, well, probably not, Carol. Brenda's on. Brenda, I feel for Charles a bit. It must be hard to know that the people just don't have it. Love him the way they did. You know what, Carol? I don't think they've ever forgiven him for what happened to Diana. The Diana over there, present company excluded. Well, for some reason, I can't. There it is. There it is. There it is. 15% chance of rain, increasing and then decreasing. I'd say Mark's out roping cattle. He might not be. It rained a lot the last couple of days out there. He didn't know if they'd be doing it or not, but they had it scheduled. The ranch he does that for is, or for friends of his. I'm not sure how he met them. Probably through his work. And okay, my clicker's not working, so hang on. There we go. There I am. What do you think about that, Diana? About Charles, and then on top of that, Camilla, because I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about this. I mean, she kind of, well, she was the reason everything that what happened to Diana. I mean, in a way, I mean, she never should. Charles never should have married her. He didn't want to marry Diana. He wasn't going to do her right, and he should have just left her alone. got a copy of Harry's book, but I hadn't read it. I actually wanted to, but then I think right after that, I realized I really didn't care about the monarchy. I mean, we fought to get away from it. It's funny though how much attention it garners in this country. Well, it probably was Diana. I don't disagree there. I think it was, yeah, you're probably right. It might, maybe not, well, maybe not forced in the true sense of the word, but I'd say it was set up. And that, and technically he wasn't supposed to ever marry Camilla because she wasn't part of she was just a commoner, if I'm not mistaken. Her family has no royal lineage whatsoever that I know of. What I did call her right name, right? Camilla. I didn't call her Kamala. Like Kamala Harris. I didn't mean to. It is Camellia. Okay, I got it right. Well, I think it did. So what are you saying there, Brenda? He had marry her. Oh, she couldn't have kids. I didn't realize that. So maybe the whole thing was Diana was just so he could have some kids, and then he cut her loose and married the one he wanted to. I never thought about that. Do you know that, Brenda, or is that just an opinion? That makes sense, though. Now, look, I've seen over the years, I've seen them post pictures of Charles and Diana's wedding, and I'll be honest, I felt sorry for Diana. I mean, he was already much older than her, and she just seems so. And maybe this is not the appropriate word, but she just seems so innocent compared to him or others. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's why Brenda and I don't have any other descendants. We got too old. I could have a grandchild right now. Well, we might talk about it again, right, Brenda? Wink, wink. Maybe since Mike isn't here, we should check in with our Diana. Diana, did they force you to marry my Carol, Carol, Carol? We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. That's a good question, though, Diana. Was your marriage to Micah forced thing? No, that was my own mistake. He could have us on in his vehicle somewhere at work and be listening on his phone. That's a good answer, though. Oh, we got bird feeders up. We got our bird feeders finally restocked and some new ones put up, and so I've got my at least two of my squirrel clowns back out here trying to find things to eat. I'll have to get the blowgun back out again probably, but right now it's kind of fun though. To have them out there, stupid Mike, stupid car, stupid truck, stupid Mike. Oh my goodness. Oh, I had some things started putting together, and I can still talk about one of them if you. I think I don't know how far along I got, but we can talk, and I could probably build it. But I didn't. Mark told me he wasn't going to be here, and I just decided it'd be a good day to not stress over it a little bit and just come on in. I think you're right there, Carol. We've got the truck. Oh, yeah, stupid truck, stupid car. Can we add any? Can we work a railroad or train into that, Carol? Maybe a stupid train hits a stupid truck, or um, you know, I bet we could too. We need to work on that. We need to see if we can't throw those lyrics together. That's at least two. Well, if you count Mike, that'd be three of the things you need for a good country and western song. And we've got Diana, so that's technically four. We need to talk about somebody's mama. That's another criteria. Or a makeup mama, something like that. We can make her up. Just saw a little bird out there, Brenda, but I didn't get to see what kind. I tell you what, when it comes to birding and birds, I'm not nearly as good. I'm not the birder Marcus. He's got records from for years now, and a notebook that tells him the first day of when well, let's say in spring, when spring rolls through and the first birds start showing up at his feeders, he has them written down. He can tell you what birds showed up when for years back, and how much certain birds have decreased, and how many numbers he's seen, and what he hasn't seen. It's pretty cool. He's serious about that. Unfortunately, better than I was. I'm not. I didn't. I did at times, but I didn't continue it on as long as he has. Tim brought the donuts today, sponsored by Duncan. That's right. I did. I told Brenda I hadn't had a donut in a while, and I did. I ate a salad for dinner, and with nothing else really with it. And I said, nothing last night. And I said, by God, I'm going to have a donut this morning. So by God, I did. You're welcome, Carol. I'll see if I can't round you up a chocolate one. Bet there's one in here somewhere. They had something new at the Duncans this morning, and it looked like I don't know if this is really one or not. And it looked like lemon. It was lemon cake, and it looked just like the kind they've got at. Now this is a picture because I didn't get any. But it looks just like the lemon cake they've got at Starbucks, the coffee place. Oh, yeah, I was saying he's got notebooks for all the way back to probably his childhood. He told me a story. He actually mentioned it before. We talked about it again this week when he was working with that. When they were working with the lady, he was helping them edit the book, the Blacktail Ferret book. I'm not sure why, but he some for some reason she wanted to look at his notebooks, or they sent her some of his notebooks. I guess maybe for reference in the for the for that book. I can't remember what it was, but for some reason she had his books, all of his journals from all that for all those years. Uh, when he and Caitlin were, out together, just all kinds of stuff and drawings because he's very artistic. He's always drawing and that kind of stuff. Hey, yeah, Diana, your donut looks better than mine. No, maybe they're the same. No, they're not. Yours are better. Mine look really weird up there now. Anyway, um, and she had them, and she kept them for 2 or 3 or 4 years before Mark got them back, and he was starting to get really upset about that. But she finally mailed them back. At one point, I believe she said something like she didn't know where they were at. Mark was fit to be tied. I mean, like I said, he had records for not just his wildlife records, but times when he and Caitlin, his daughter, were out together I don't know if we've ever talked about this or not, but when Caitlin, his daughter, was small, up to I guess school age, she rode with Mark in his work truck all the time. If he had her, and he had a his wife at that time was living in call it town because she was going to school, and Mark lived in another house and was because of where his district was, it was I don't know how away from where she was, but so during the week he would keep Caitlin, and so he and Caitlin were tight, thick as thieves. They really had a real relationship, and she rode around with him all the time. You talk about a cutie. I went out there and visited him a couple times, and she rode in the truck with us, and she was something special, and she knew things. She could point to things and talk about birds and show me how the sharp-tailed grouse dance on their leks, and leks are where they meet. You know, that's the come meet me here place for sharp-tailed or a lot of birds. It's called a lek, and I used to have a video out somewhere of her doing the sharp-tailed grouse dance, and I mean, she's really was a neat kid, and she rode with him, and so got drawings of her out, out there and with him and just stuff, probably notes when she was out there with him. He wanted that stuff, and this lady had it. I have to believe she was trying to hang on to him maybe for nefarious reasons. I'd not hate to think that his work would show up in somebody else's book someday. I want it to show up in his book or maybe our book, but at least not somebody we never heard of. We keep talking about it. I got to get him. I got to nail him down one day to sit down and help me work out some details. But I think eventually we'll put a book together. We're wanting to write a kids book. I think he would like to write a kids book. We've talked about. I don't know if anybody in here has ever heard of the book, The Two Little Savages, but it was a book written around the turn of the century by Ernest Thompson Seton, and it's about two young boys that one that lived on a farm and one that was kind of sent to the farm to be in the country for a while to help his health and get him out of the cities. And he grew up. They ended up going out in the woods and building, their own teepee and living out there and stuff like that. And it's a really neat book, but something like that's not been written in a long, long time. And I think we'd like to put something together like that. I wouldn't want to copy that. I think today it would have to be different, but we could probably write it. And when Mark and I were children, we could probably do something and use those thoughts. And maybe today, I don't know. I'm hoping somehow we get put together before I get too old to do it. I've been wanting to do some kind of book for years, and I wanted when I got retired, I wanted to do one about the cats. Chloe, I was going to do the Detective Chloe series for children. Brenda and I were how Detective Chloe, snuck around the house and discovered things and explored things and investigated. But we hadn't done that either. I haven't, at least. That was probably on Brenda and I to get done. If any, I'm going back to the cake man. If you guys have or not a Dunkin', well, maybe a Dunkin' too now, and since I saw it there, but if you guys have a Starbucks, go there someday and ask for the lemon pound cake. Mm, mm, mm. That is some kind of good. Or try, you know what you think. You might not agree, but I like it a lot. Hey there, Brenda. We had a little guy we got a new feeder. Brenda's trying an entirely new feeder now, and it's a pretty stout wire cage, and all the food is in the middle of it, and it's at least 10 inches square, so the food's at least 5 inches away from our sides. The only birds that can get through the cage can, get to it. Hey, there's a towhee. That's the first towhee I've seen in a while. They usually nest out here in our shrubs. A rufous-sided towhee, Towhee, if you're interested. I'm sure I could find a picture of one somewhere. Sorry, guys, I know I'm crooked. I'm not to. Look, look, look. Can't even wake him up to look. He's gone. he just he just had a big sigh. All right, I'll present and see if I can show this to you guys. This is the rufous-sided towhee. Come on, there he is. Oh, that's good. Maybe it was the salt. Maybe the salt was off just enough. Ursula is our anemone and that thing. I don't know how big it was when we brought it home. Maybe something like that, but it spreads out. She's huge, and but the last couple of days she's been kind of balled up, like something was upsetting her, and she's fairly sensitive to salt changes. Um, and it was funny. The One of the clowns that is with her the most was was working hard to make sure all the little rocks and things were off of them and off of her and keeping it. We call her. I don't know what it is. She is. It is. I mean, he was working hard to make sure all the little pebbles and stones were out, off of her and not touching her. And I don't know that he was trying to had he or she had anything to do with you know her not feeling well, but who knows? Maybe you never know about these things. Honestly, our clownfish are a hoot, or Brenda's clownfish. Yeah, she's named them Laurel Party, and we've been waiting for them. I don't know if how many. I don't know if you guys know about clownfish. Everybody in here I know signed the paper, so we're going to talk sex education here. And clownfish are all born basically as males or the same sex, let's call it, and primarily male. But when they pair up, one of the clowns will start to grow bigger, and then it'll morph into a female, and you've got a pair. You got a female and a male, and usually the male's a fair bit smaller. In fact, they're usually a lot smaller. They don't get near as big. As usually, if you see a couple in a tank and one of them looks like it's as big as your hand, that's the female. And she's pretty. I guess you could say she's pretty dominant in the relationship. But excuse me, guys, I've got some bothering me. I probably don't have a thing here to work on it with. No, anyway, I need I need to quit putting my fingers in my mouth, being so crude. Um, so the female will get bigger, and then she is kind of, I guess she's sort of dominant, but it's like a lot of things in nature, though. The male takes care of the young, pretty much. I'm not sure she has much to do with them once she lays the eggs, and the males will kind of keep them clean. She might help. She might fan them because they fan them with their fins and their tails to make sure they get a good steady flow of oxygen. I think the biological purpose might be, Carol, might be so that there's always there can always be a mating pairs that okay, she is the dominant. Excuse me. Got a little female unity going on here. No, I think it's other species do that. There are species of I think if it's lizards. There's some species of reptiles that if they reach a certain level of population and it starts to overpopulate, they'll all of the all the new lizards will be female, and so there won't be as much breeding going on, and that'll stop the numbers. Then I guess if they go down enough, one will change back or one will change into that. It's very interesting how that works, but it's kind of you see it in clownfish if you're really looking because they got so popular, especially after Nemo. That it's a big deal. As soon as the female does, another fish will come along and turn. Wait a minute, what was that? As well, it should be. No, 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 no. Carol, do not encourage her. As soon as the female does, another fish will come along and turn female. What do you what do you mean, Brenda? As soon as the female does what? Become dominant? You've got me there. I'm not sure what you mean by that. And remember, Carol, I can put you in timeout. Unfortunately, Nemo movie almost wiped them clean. Well, yeah, Nemo movie did hurt. They really got over harvested until then, but because of that, though, now almost all of them you buy are farm raised or individual raised. We could, if we really wanted to focus on that, we could start. You could set up a nursery aquariums, if you will, and start. Dies, yes. If one the dominant female dies, yes, another one will come along, become female, and take her place. And then once they start developing those hormones, I guess they start to grow more. That's cool. I love seeing the variety of way nature is cool. Nature, not to start a discussion on anything like this, but if you really look, we hear about humans and gay elements of our population or our species. And then if you look at nature, it's might not be nearly as far fetched as it sounds. I mean, it could almost be a biological method of slowing population growth. And I know we don't want to think that because you know by certain religious terms that man has rule over all the other dominions or whatever. But that could be. I mean, nature biology can do it to creatures, and it could probably do it to us too. And I'm not saying that in a bad way or saying we're all going to turn gay. I'm just saying that you never know. Dice, but a lot of people raise them now. Ours came off. I think ours came out of a local farm. I suspect there was a guy up towards. I think it was in Sevierville or Kodak, which is up near Dollywood area, and I know he was raising them for some of the people that sold saltwater fish down here because I remember seeing a sign about it, and or maybe even seeing some stuff online about him or about them doing that. They raised quite a few. And that's also where some of the and it's just like dogs, people that really get into, raising fish and things will start to pair up different species, and then you get all these really crazy color of, clownfish that might not exist in the ocean. Pretty much all clownfish, and there's quite a few of them are, interrelated. They're just subspecies changes, so they can interbreed and you get mixes, and they probably do that in the wild if they've got, border areas of populations, but you can do it you can do it more, you can control what's going on, I guess, if you I'm trying to say if you do it in a farm or an aquarium situation. Manatees are like that, they pair up sometimes with same sex. Well, I don't doubt that. I mean, and penguins, Brenda likes to talk. She likes to tell a story about penguins. There was a pair of penguins, males. I believe they were in a British zoo, and they got, I guess you could say they got to be buddies. And so something happened, and the zoo had an extra egg that wasn't being properly cared for, abandoned or something. And they put that egg under one of these males because male penguins set on eggs. They do that naturally. And they take turns with the females. If the female will go feed and then come back, the male will go feed and that kind of thing. They're often gone for weeks and months at a time. But so that's not unusual for a male to set on an egg. But in this case, two males were sharing parenting. Well, it's kind of an interesting little stuff that they've done there, and I'm sure that just showing it on TV, documented everything. Again, it doesn't mean penguins are gay. It just means they have figured out a way to work it out. I'll be right back. All right, that's better. I got it. Something driving me crazy. Now, when buying saltwater fish, make sure they are tank raised. For instance, they were best buds and they incubated the egg. Am I still cutting in or out? Okay, Doug. Well, you take care out there. What's that? What's those lists? They can get longer and longer. At least that's been my experience. I'm starting to see a theme in here today. All the men are leaving because they've got honeydew chores. I'm not leaving. I'm staying, guys. Brenda can come up with a list if she wants to. Okay, can you? Am I breaking up now? Maybe I need to move my microphone. I might have been moving around too much or had my head down. I muted it on purpose there for a minute. Anybody else? Am I cutting out on anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you for saying so, Diana. You're not so bad yourself. That's Mike's not here. If Mike was here, I would never do something like that because he'd whip me bad. he would become that proverbial bear that I run from and can't outrun. So something kind of interesting. I don't know if any of you follow this website or not, but I don't know. A couple of years ago, probably. I think I first saw it from Chris Bluenose or Onyx 87. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. And it was a YouTube site where this guy was sitting on his porch and this bear, actually several bears then, would come around to his house and get up on his porch and look around, see if there was anything handy to eat. And I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but one particular sow named that he named, I assume it's well, yeah, he named it. Wildlife people don't name bears, not on purpose anyway. And he calls her Simone. And Simone has tube tags in her ears, and so she's been captured and either released somewhere or she's just been tagged for monitoring or something. I think she may have even won a collar one year. But for the last several years, every year that every other year, let's say, she comes out with her new cubs, and she's been very prolific in reproduction. I have to say, I know for the last 6 years, 5 years. So I've been watching them longer than that because this is pretty sure this is the third set of cubs I've seen. Or maybe I just watched all the videos. Maybe that's how I caught it. But anyway, she had twins, which is pretty normal. Um, a couple of years now. I believe year before last, she had triplets, and she brought them up when they were just about this big at the porch, and kind of introduced them to this guy's house and his porch, and him because he's usually sitting on the porch, and and they grew up to be, the cubs grew up to be decent size before she shoot them off last year, but their last year with her. Well, this year she has shown up with brand new cubs, and she had quads. She's got four little Muppet bears, and they are Brenda. I showed them to Brenda the other night because they're kind of interesting. Because a couple of them look like they almost have cinnamon brown colored heads, and the rest of their bodies are black like her. I've never seen one quite like that. And if they turn and you can get the light on their ears, right, their ears look brown, very brown. But just a couple of them. The other two are, they just look like normal baby black bears. And all four of them are probably, well, they might be Teddy size. I doubt they weigh as much as Teddy does, though. And so she's got them coming up on the porch now, and it's so funny to watch. Now, I don't necessarily approve of that. That's why I struck. I don't know give him likes, and it's not personal. Not a good. It's not a good um, habit or what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, it's not necessarily a good thing to do. That's not what I'm looking for, but that can create human bear interaction, bad interactions. Uh, she goes up to another. Well, I'll pound on that. All four of these cubs showed up the other day on his front porch, and they just shown up in the last week or two. And there she comes up on the porch, and let me tell you, that bear Simone has matured and filled out, and she is a slick looking, glossy black, really healthy looking sow bear. And she just came out of the den. So, I mean, she must have gone in the den really, really fattened up and ready to go because she looked so good. Yeah, he doesn't let them get too close. He lets them, they do come up right beside him. He's got chairs on his porch. And one, I heard him tell the cubs yesterday that one of the chair was Milo's. Now, Milo was a cub from I believe from last year, maybe year before last. He used to come up, and that was he would get on or get mess with that chair all the time. And, so he told this new cub that that was Milo's chair, and he's not named these new ones. Uh, Probably got a way of trying to figure 'em out. Um, One day last week, she sent him up a big tree there in the edge of his yard, and then she wandered around looking, I guess, for things to eat and drink. She went and got her some water. There's a big pan down by this runoff. It's not really a creek. It probably runs when it's raining a lot, but, um and then she came up and got under the shrubbery beside his porch and laid down there and took a nap in the shade while the cubs were all up in the tree. And they all got up there and they found them a limb to lay down on or a knot to knot or a hole in the tree to get bunched up in, or just laid on a limb. One of them was just sitting up leaning on a limb. And they all went to sleep. So the kids were taking a nap and mama was taking a nap. But the other day, and just in the last couple of days, Simone was out there and he had titled his video, I think on YouTube or something like Simone and her class one felony or something like that. And she was at the neighbor's house. This is where I think there's going to be trouble. And there was two cars sitting there. Now I don't know if the neighbors he lives over near Asheville, so it's not very far from here. Um, she walked up to the cars that were sitting there in the parking driveway, and she just reached up with her right paw and opened the door just pretty as you please, just like a kid or I mean a person would do. And she didn't fumble. She wasn't looking for a door handle. She saw the door handle. She put her paw on it. She opened the door, pulled it open, got up in the car to see what she could find to eat on or eat, and climbed back out and went to the other car and did the same thing. And got up in the car. And at one point, he was trying to discourage her from his front porch, but looked like he was, 30, 40 yards away, maybe more. And she wasn't paying him any attention. And he said, "Find what you're smelling, get out, just leave the car alone." But she finally got out and walked away. And then somebody at that house came out. And he yelled up and told them, "You might want to check your car if the bear was inside your car." I don't know whether they knew it or not. And she said, "No, the cars are fine. They closed them up. Hopefully, they locked." Hey there, Brian. West Coast Disney Adventures in the house. And so he told them what was going on. And I don't know if they did anything or not. They're going to end up, those bears are going to end up getting trapped or have to be moved if they get too brave, too acclimated to humans. That's a bad cracker. I mean, once they get that way, then they're hard to break them with that habit. But they're cute and they're fun to watch. I'll have to admit, I do watch his videos. And it is very interesting how she seems to respect his space. Of course, he doesn't want her to get too close. If they do, he'll try to back them off by talking to them. We're pretty good, Brian. How are you? Well, pretty good. I'm hurting a bit, but I'm otherwise I'm good. Um, he's got an old Christmas tree on the porch. I'm thinking he's like most people. He took his Christmas tree down or undecorated and set it out on the porch. He's probably supposed to be getting rid of it, and it's still on the porch. And I noticed in this video that the bears had come back. Actually, they'd been there and left, and he had gone to the other end of the porch doing something. So he was behind that tree. And it looked like he or they had knocked the tree over. Just headed for work. Oh my. Um, and she came over to him and got really close with him behind that tree. And she didn't growl at him, but she blew air through her nose. She went, "Shh." Just made a hissing a sound, not a hissing sound, but just air blowing through her nose. You could see her nose kind of flap, and, I don't know if that was a warning or if that was just to say, "I smell you, I know you're there," or what. She laughed, she turned around and laughed at him, it didn't bother him. And I still didn't get that. Feels like a piece of orange peel, but I didn't eat an orange. Anyway, they're fun to watch. I just have mixed feelings about people, acclimating bears, acclimating. That's the word I was looking for. Acclimating bears to, coming up on your porch and eating your bird feed. I've never seen him actually feed the bears, but if he's got a bird feeder up, they know how to get into that. And he has this little platform kind of feeder hanging from a section over his handrail. And she goes right there and sits down on top of the handrail, the rail around the porch, and just reaches up there and flips that thing sideways, and all birdseed dumps out, and she eats it off the ground or off the porch. And the cubs will stand, they get there and suck it all up they can beneath her on the porch. It's fun to watch how they learn to climb up those slats. It's like a handrail with slats, and they learn to wrap their legs around them and climb up those things and get up there with her. And then there's posts in it every so often. So if they want to walk the top board, they got to know how to get around the post, and they'll stand up again, wrap their front legs around it, and they'll just sort of ease around till they get to the other side, drop down, and keep walking. It's fun to watch them. On your there's Mike, see, Diana. Now, Mike, nothing was said that was serious. So if you heard anything about anybody messing around or messing with your wife, just ignore all that, okay? Oh, Carol, shit, we'd appreciate that. If you don't mind bringing them to the house, you can help us unload them and carry them up to the kitchen. Stop talking about who, Mike. He's in here. He just popped in and said hi. He's on his coffee break. Oh, he said now. Mike's in the room. Don't talk about him. Hi, Mike. Sorry you had to work today, buddy. With donuts. I'm gonna have to stop relying on you bringing the donuts. You're just not. We may have to demote you from donut sergeant down to private. And see if we can get somebody else to step up for that donut sergeant promotion. I think the Leafs play tonight, don't they? I believe it. The Leafs or the Edmonton. I'm not sure which. One of them's playing tonight. It's only one game today. Don't tell Diana I told you that. Tim, can you unmoderate him so Brenda can time him out? I'd have to make her a moderator though, Diana, again. And then you know what happens when Brenda's got that blue ranch? You tend to take trips on us a lot. But I can do that if Brenda wants to. I can do it if she'll promise to be not quite so trigger. One of these days she's gonna kick me out, and then you guys are gonna be sitting here waiting to who to talk to. Yeah, no more conversation about stupid things. We were actually trying to compose a country song. Mike, you might have to help us later. I can't remember what it was about, but I bet you can help us. Yeah, Carol can time him out. Go for it, Carol. Do I have to moderate him before he let that happen though? No, I can. Well, maybe I can, and you may not be able to. But it says I can time him out, or at least it said I can time out Diana. Well, Mike, I hope you're having a good day at work or a decent day. You gonna be there all day? Well, Brenda's trying to be nice. Why didn't she do? Brenda, you might be careful there. You could have been nice to Diana too, but for some reason you kept putting her out. Well, Diana, if you want me to, I can take his wrench away. Let's see here. There you go. He's no longer got a wrench, Carol. You should be able to time him out. Make Diana happy, then I'll give him his wrench back and I'll let him time her out. We'll just play the ring around or the musical chairs game of timing each other out. Oh no, my God, this message got deleted. I guess Carol can do that. Okay, Mike, I'm giving you your wrench back, buddy. I can't leave you that defenseless. You're gonna, they're gonna pick on you. There you go, Mike. Now you can fight back a little bit. Yeah, Tarky. I mean, that's what I was trying to figure out. Why is she making up to Diana right now? Or, being nice to Mike, rather. Oh, don't tell me Mike got kicked out. Oh, no. Well, he'll be back in a minute, hopefully. Oh, me, oh, my. What are friends for? Family. Can't kill them, can't take, can't do anything with them. I did. Oh, man, that makes me a part of this thing. The whole conspiracy. I hope he gets back in here, before too long. Acid purposefully? Oh, well, okay, I got you. Instead of accidentally, acid purposefully. That's a new word. Yeah, I like that. We'll have to remember that. I'm going to write that down. I like new words. Well, I do hope he makes it back in. I feel bad now. He was on his coffee break. Brenda was right. He didn't have a lot of time. Cause I got to dim your phone. I got to turn the camera off. Got to stand up and stretch. But I'm right here, and I can still see what you're saying. Oh, okay, Diana, that makes me feel a little bit better. He probably is laughing. Doesn't mean he won't get even with some later date, though. Oh, I should do that, Carol. I've got a maple glazed one. I'll send him one of those. Doesn't have bacon on it though. If I could throw a donut or a frisbee from here to Canada, I'd get Guinness out to watch. Well, there you go. Verse 2 is about Tim and his stupid things. Brenda just thinks my tools are stupid because her mom's mad ass because the toolbox is sitting up in her garage. Oh, come on, Carol, spill the beans. What kind of things have you got for verse 3? I'd really like to hear that. I'm being like Mark does. I'm writing these things down. 'Cause the day might come when the day just might come when the song gets published, and I don't want to hear any of this talk about Tim stole that from us. Well, I'll tell you how many toolboxes a man needs. A man needs enough toolboxes to have a nice, cozy resting place for each and every one of his tools. And just because I happen to have more than one does not make me. I mean, Phil's got at least two down at his house, and I've got one that's disappeared that I'd really like to find. Partly because the box was his and the tools were mine. Stupid CD, stupid power. Oh my, she's got a lot of stuff. Oh, we've got some broken stuff that I've been going to fix one day for years now. So you women just don't understand about us fixing things. It's pretty good right there, Carol. That's a really good start. I wrote that down too. Well, what part of that would you like to know, Diana? I can try, but I am in here alone, so I don't know. I don't know if Dave's still here or if Brian left or Mike's gone, so I don't know. But I can try. If I start to stutter too much, you'll know I'm making it up. I just realized I've got a search window down here, and it's got a crown and a scepter. for the coronation of King Charles III. Well, see, there's the problem with women. They're impatient and they don't realize that fixing stuff is a time honored process that men have to work through to get to fix the thing that needs to be fixed. I mean, sometimes in the fixing process, they get unfixed even more. So that gives us an opportunity to fix more. And sometimes that takes longer because we have to get parts. We got to order stuff, and usually we're on a tight schedule anyway. Most people are working. I'm not working. Most men are working, and they don't have time fixing the stuff that we're going to fix. It's not that we don't want to or aren't going to. It's just we may not have gotten to it yet. And and you women are just pushy, pushy, pushy. And why is this here and why is that? I wasn't stuttering that much. Oh, I shouldn't even go there. That's because he's got to make up stuff as they go. Well, no, that's not true at all, Brenda. You know better than that. You know that I have all kinds of things I'm gonna fix. Well, that's another problem. There's been a great shortage of round to it. I don't know if you guys have that in Canada, but down here we say when I get around to it, and round to it's are hard to find. I noticed that, Carol. You reckon you guys been warning them on the side or something? Teddy, you gonna help me? You wanna stand up here and take that from me? The women are picking on me. Mark, his wife understands. Mark's got his stuff to be fixed in his workroom in the house, just like me. His workroom takes up the living room and part of the kitchen. Mine's mostly down here now. That's like mostly. Hey, bud, you wanna get up and talk to everybody? Would you get up and defend me for help me just a little bit? If you stood up, that would get everybody's mind off picking on dad. Brenda, my Aunt Pearl had one of those on her fridge. I'd forgotten all about round to it. I've never seen one on a fridge, but I guess that'd be a good place to keep it. Yeah, Diana, round to it's are hard to find. Never bullshit. I had a guy tell me that once. He looked me right now and looked and said, "Sonny, never try to." Now, how do he said, "Don't never try to never try to shit a bullshitter, shorty," or something like that. Oh, lesson taken. Maybe that's something I need to do. Maybe I need to go in the round to it business and get a few printed up. I mean, every man should have a good round to it in his pocket. That'd be as good as a challenge coin. I mean, think about it. If a man could lay his round to it on the bar, every man in there would bow and and probably want to borrow it next. My 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 aunt has been gone a long time, but it was circular magnet, and it said, "Now you have a round to it." Those are not fair. Those are not fair. I'm sure there's something that women do that's the same. It would be the same thing, only different. I might not say around to it, but there's bound to be something. You guys are gonna drive me to drink, and it's really early on Saturday for that. Although maybe I should have done that before I started this conversation. We might all be better off. Oh, would you look at the time? My goodness, it's time to go. It's around this with the letters round to it printed on it. Brenda's got a wooden one, don't you? I mean, don't you have one in your fuel boxes, jewelry box that somebody gave you? That's wooden. Well, Diane, don't run right out and buy one. Let me see what it cost me to gear up to make them, and then maybe you can buy one from me. I mean, you can look at my basement and my shop, my stuff in my downstairs abode here, and realize real quickly that I don't have around to it. Only girls except me. Everybody else is left today. In fact, there's only four of you, I think. I don't know if Tina's in the background. She wasn't feeling good. Last note I got from her said she was not feeling well. And if she don't bump in now and say hi, then I'm going to guess she still doesn't feel well. Probably ought to check on her and Chuck. Oh yeah. Speaking, let me see if I can. Let me ask you guys what you think about this situation. I got in trouble last night. I got in trouble last night for talking during the TV program that Brenda and I watch several times a week. It's a British crime procedure or whatever you call it, and we usually discuss it. Well, it's more of a medical examiner kind of a show. Anyway, and we always discuss what's going on and who's doing what and what do we think about what happened there and who do we think done it. And last night I was sitting there just minding my own business doing that very same thing and I got in trouble. Basically I was told to shut up, quit talking. Brenda gets mad at me. See, that's impatience. Well, the rest of you ladies think about that. Not being like a talking bird, I'm knocking my head back and forth. Look at my memories. What in the world? Oh, let me see if this would be a 2 years ago. Check this out, Diana. That's a Canadian airplane that was down here. I thought this was one I had flown, but this is not. I thought I had a different picture here. Still cool though. And I believe, notice how I changed the subject. Uh, Brenda says yes, silent witness. I'm Carol, come on. Ah, dang, the fraternity of women is strong. That is an exact, yeah, pretty close. Exact. example of my very first motorcycle. In fact, this would have been basically what I was riding the first time I went to see Brenda. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, Brenda, you're in trouble now. Based on what I've seen today, um, I'm probably gonna rat you out. Oh, I gotta show you this. My very first car. Actually, mine didn't have that grill in it, but other than that, that was it. Stupid motorcycle. Now I had a stupid car too. I'm quite sure. Brenda could see the road. She now claims she could see the road going by beneath her. Carol said, "I hope he thought it was funny. I hope he did too. He didn't know he got turned out. We'll have to do it." Oh, okay, another chance, another day. It's okay, Diana. You don't need to know about it. It was they were ganging up on me. You being a nice Canadian person and all, you would not be that way. You wouldn't be me like my wife. Anyway, that was my first car. That's almost an exact example of my very automobile. I paid $700 for that car back in 1973, I believe. Thank you, Diana. Thank you. It was a cool car. Brenda liked to ride around in it with the top down. Don't let her kid you. I liked it a lot. I wish I still had it. Oh, it looks like Teddy. Not Teddy. Oh, Simon. Oh, younger Tim with no pants on. Oh, Simon and that's Simon and Mouse Man. Here they are. These guys are too cute. I need to show them. These are actually two of the sweetest babies ever right here. Big guy here is Mouse, and the guy in the back is with Simon. We just lost Simon a year or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. And Simon and Mouse Man unfortunately had the kidney issues, and we eventually had to put him down too. Oh man, we loved that. We loved him. He was such a sweetheart. He was such a good cat. Well, that's all from 2 years ago. At least according to this thing. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let's see if anybody else thinks this is funny. I should show this to Mark. You guys might not. You might not appreciate barnyard humor as much. Go for the fair faucet look. Then when I got out, I was a bit wind blown. Yeah, just a bit. I don't know if you can read those or not, but it says I got lost in the Grand Canyon. Sodbusters do it in the dirt. Just say, whoa, save the, save the horn. And I love something. I can't, that last one's cut off. I guess that's for us. Yeah. And it says common rumper stickers of the old west. Oh, well, I better get back to my guests. That might have been a stupid car, Brenda, but it was a lot cooler than the other car I had to drive, which my brother nicknamed the Turtle. Maybe we all did. It was it was I've never even seen many cars like it. It was an odd Buick. Buick tried to make a small car. I guess they were trying to keep up with the Ford Falcons and Ford or Mercury Falcon and Ford Comets. No, that's not right. Ford Falcon, Mercury Comet, which were small cars before their dime. I like nothing like that possible when I get off out of my convertible. When I got out of mine, you got a convertible, Diana? What did you have, or do you have? Say Brenda had helmet hair when she got off the back of my motorcycle, but that wasn't allowed. She was not allowed to get off the back of my scooter. Say she never did, but she wasn't supposed to be. Probably not more than a couple times. Like you're starting to feel it still. Yeah, a Sebring. I know what a Sebring is. That was a Buick, wasn't it? Is that a Buick? Yeah, it's a Buick, but it was a smaller car. Or was that a Chrysler? Maybe that was a Chrysler. Yeah, it's a K. That might have been a K car, actually. One of the cooler ones. I'm not sure if it was. It might have been after the K car series, but that's bad. A guy's not supposed to. You can lose your guy can lose his man card if you don't know a little bit about his automobile history. At least in the circles I run, automobile history, motorcycle history, um, and when I'm running with Mark, it's geography, history, geological history, paleontology, anthropology, wildlife science, Native American lore. It wasn't cool, but it was fun. Somebody I know had a Sebring. It might have been a convertible. Somebody I used to work with. I don't remember if that was in Nashville or if that was after I came up here. What year was it, Diane? 2005. Well, my God, you must have started driving when you were what, 3? Canada sure is liberal about that. You can't be more than like 25 now. What? What color was the top? I have two new books I'm going to show here in a minute too, just because I want to talk about it. I knew it as soon as you said what it was. What was the color? You're welcome, Diana, anytime. Brenda's grandmother had one of the coolest. Yeah, it was a really cool car, and it was a convertible with a white top, and it was a. I guess I don't know if was hers baby blue, but it was a Camaro, one of the early Camaros, like a Z28 Super Sport. I think they were, and they had didn't it have the racing stripe, Brenda? Carol said she had this really cool green mini around that time, and you can imagine how glamorous I looked stepping out of that thing. Don't start minivan talk, please. I'll get in trouble. That's something else I'll get in trouble for. I tend to be more practical when it comes to vehicles than my wife. The minivan was an excellent vehicle for its time and opportunity, and from what I can tell, it still is in Europe. They don't call them minivans over there. They call them people movers or something. Something cooler than just minivans. I saw somebody try to make a convertible out of a minivan once. That didn't work too good. Tell them about my land yacht that I had to drive it. Oh God. Brenda learned that Brenda's dad had a, or her family had a, oh Jesus Christ, it was a Chrysler. I don't, it could have been a Plymouth, but it was a Chrysler product, and it was the quintessential or land yacht. I mean, American automobile culture. Geez, I don't know what to call it. It was huge, and the suspension and the steering, power steering back then on cars was not like it is today. It was really loose, and it always felt floppy to me. I mean, almost all, but it was just too free, and they fixed that finally. And now cars have much better steering. Now it wasn't wobbly. I just mean it was so easy to move that it just felt like it was. But it also had really soft suspension, I guess, for that air cushion ride. And that thing would float down the road. It felt like you were just, and it was about the size of this living room or this den room, and about a mile long, and my God, was it big. Yeah, that's what that's learned how to drive in. And I didn't realize that she drove around in that thing. She told me the other day. I don't know what I thought she drove in, but I didn't think she drove that. I mean, because my God, that's. But then again, if she could drive that, she could probably drive about anything. I did drive it to Disney World. You're absolutely correct. That's how come I know how it felt to drive it. But but in all honesty, that wasn't the only car. I mean, almost all cars at that time were American cars were too big, or at least a large portion of them, and were too softly sprung, and they wanted that ride, and that had that power steering. It was just felt really loose. I mean, it was just they had to learn how to put the feel back in power. Well, I tell you what it was. Most cars now have power rack and pinion type steering, so it gets rid of some of that, and it's like you feel the road much better. Dad had a big Chrysler for a while, a company car, and it was the same way. I mean, they just felt like land. They really felt like you were just bobbing down the street on water. Love it, Brenda. I miss my brother's old boat. It was an old Cutlass. Yeah, some Cutlasses were kind of neat though. When I first started working for the race team, the NASCAR Busch Grand National team, we were still using old Cutlass was whatever model it was, that was our race car body. Pretty sure they were Cutlasses. And then Oldsmobile and Buick, they ended those product lines, and we had to go change to another car. Did you drive that car, or did you just ride in that? I believe, let me see, I'm gonna look, and I gotta look it up. I believe your dad had that car you're talking about was a Chrysler Imperial. I don't know what year it was. Let's just say 72. That that's pretty that's pretty much it right there, I think. See if I can find one that was that color, because it was a lovely color of green as I recall. Maybe like an avocado. This is too light, but I'm gonna show it. This is not, if I can make it blow up big enough, I'm so oh shoot. Alright, let me see. It was very similar to this. And Brenda, you can agree, or you can tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Olive green. Wasn't it very similar to that automobile right there? If you really look at it, it's going forward or backwards. I can make it bigger, but I can't control it where the image moves to. What do you think, babe? Close? I think it's pretty close. The more I look at it, the more I remember. But that's basically what it was. Color might be not quite right. I thought it was a little dark. That might actually be pretty close to it. Well, Chucky Dern. Anyway, you know what? We probably missed many opportunities to get in the back seat of that car, but I don't think we ever did. I can't make this one big enough. I found one that looks what I thought was a color, but it's two door, and that was a four door. I'm pretty positive. Oh my goodness! I found naked people body painted. That was not what I was looking for. Get out there on Pinterest though. Anyway, that's what it was. Oh, I found the whole page of them. Oh my! I need to get out of there before I get lost. Anyway, that's pretty cool looking cars. Did have some personality. Yeah, they did. No, they did not, Carol. That's a good point. Or at least nothing that I could ever have afforded had a heated seat. Some Cadillac might have, or maybe a Mercedes or something, but nothing on. Oh my, first you're thinking, winking at Brenda, now you're talking about back seats. This room's getting racy. Well, there's only a few of us in here, and I'm pretty sure everybody in here signed the waiver. That's about as racy as it's gonna get, though. I guess that was one thing with my little car. It did not have a back seat, so there wasn't any back seat going on in that. There was a little bit of room. There was just a little bit of room behind the seats. I think it was big enough for it was just barely big enough for somebody could sit sideways behind the seats, like my little brother or something, but it wasn't very comfortable. Yeah, we're just racy cars. That's right, just racy cars. Yeah, let's hang on a minute. All right, never mind. Oh me, girls, when you had a date, girls, when you had a date on Saturday night, how long did it take you to get ready? Yeah, that's a good question. And I'll gladly wait right here for the answer because I can't wait. I bet these ladies got ready and got in a hurry and were ready to go. Sorry, I'm looking for something on my desk. Diana said not long. She's pretty low maintenance. I would have agreed with Brenda, but I know better. I've been married too long for that. While you guys are thinking about how long it took, let me show you my two new books. I got this book and I got this book, which turned out to be a humongous book, but it's in bigger print, so I can actually see to read it. That's a good thing. This book, or the story of this book, you guys read that or is that backwards to you all? Final Net. I know what that was. My mom used that. That's hairspray. Now I can wake up and be ready for the day in 15 minutes. That's handy, Carol. Brenda, at least an hour, probably 30 minutes of that was adding more layers of hairspray. Let's kind of wait and see what Brenda's time was. Well, you know what, Carol? I don't know about today, but when we were growing up, not you, you're younger than we are, but when we were growing up, every hairdo that seemed to come out, or at least 80% of them or so, required a lot of hairspray. Uh, Women don't use it as much. Dame Brenda didn't use it that much either, I don't think. Well, she probably did when she curled it and all that stuff, but I always thought she had free hair to begin with. Hopefully that's got getting me a couple of points back. So mine was an all-day process, which I recognized from others. Oh, oh, I didn't know that. Makes sense though. Now that I think about it. quit looking for something. Aquanet, baby. Brenda has had hairspray because she used to have to when she's working in the kitchen. They used to have to spray their hair because that was just a rule. Um, it always amazed me that the pump spray hairsprays that she used seemed to smell just like the ones my mom used to use that were aerosolized. I said, I mean, I think although they smell the same, and man, that stuff just used to eat my throat up. Carol says, "I see. If we see the camera turn off again, maybe we should leave the two lovebirds alone." Be sure to mute the mic, though. Trust me, it'd be sad sound you'd hear. Oh, thanks, Brenda. That's true about picking out the outfit. I forgot about all those steps. See, guys didn't have that problem. All we had to do was grab a pair of blue jeans that were standing up in the corner of the room, pull on our boots, put on some kind of a t-shirt or a old football jersey or something like that, and we were ready to go. Well, brush our hair if we could. Mine was pretty thick and long back then. At least by today's standards. My today's standards. Mine's pretty long right now for me, but it used to be way down past my neck, thick like a I don't know what kind of bush. There we are talking, picking on poor Mike again. And Diana says, "Sure, Tim, I have a brother. I know how many times he looked in the mirror before a day." Hmm. I don't know, Brendan. Do you think I was that way? I might have been, but probably not as bad as some. Uh-oh, Brenda, was this another one of those force? Down here, Carol, we call those shotgun weddings. We're coming down to rescue Dinah and get in one of those stupid cars. We're heading to coming down to rescue you, babe. They're gonna take you away. Well, she'd love it up there. She loves the wintertime in Michigan or Canada. I can almost see a verse coming from the song about stupid marriages, stupid weddings, stupid dates, stupid. What do you think? Okay, Cameron, we have to dinosaur unicorn shark costume. Very funny. Yeah, I think the last time anybody in this family went to Disney World, it was you. I think you did leave me at home. Might have been when Jennifer turned 21. Oh, surely it's been less than that. That was quite a long time ago now. Sorry, guys. Wants to be the T Rex. I thought you might want to be the Megalodon. Diana calls shark. Well, Carol, that leaves you as unicorn. Hope that works for you. Okay, well, thank you, Diane or Carol. I appreciate that. It'll be nice to know that out there or down there in Disney World, you guys are, having fun while I sit here by myself and talk to the wall. Anybody want any coffee? Now, have you got the costumes picked out? We're ready to go. I wonder who's going to drive because Brendan is leaving that car. What is that, Diane? I can't see it. Oh, a cup of coffee. Carol's not the she's not the fancy sparkly type for a unicorn. But I knew you'd probably be all right. As long as you can spit Skittles or something to that effect, you'll be all right. I think everybody came in the chat today and looked and just left because they saw Tim didn't have a guest and he didn't have any slides and he's just saying yak 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 and chase squirrels all morning. So thank you, ladies, for hanging around. Maybe we can get a convertible. Oh, Brenda did that once with the girls. They got a convertible and drove to the beach. Carol's gonna bring the other beverages. Yeah. Brenda, I guess that makes you designated driver. When your bestie needs to pick up, go see her in a T-Rex costume. When your bestie needs to pick up, go see her in a T-Rex costume. Well, if that works for you. My eyes are watering again. At least the costumes will help keep our hairdos from getting too windblown. Oh man, gosh. Have I seen what video? Is this there? Well, there's Michelle. Good morning, Michelle. Did the old man kick you out of bed? Say go get on Tim's stream real quick. Tim, I'm not really here and I'm going back to bed. Okay. Well, I'm guessing that's Michelle's better half that said that part. Well, Garrett, this is about the time that I start winding down a little bit. Yeah. I'm yawning now. You got me. Oh, Michelle's going to be the koala. Well, now we got a koala, a T Rex, a shark, a unicorn, and a koala. Well, it sounds like she hit the floor, but I guess she's okay. No, Mike's not here today. He went on his usual donut run, but hasn't come home. Last time we heard, he was on I-85 heading south towards Utah. Yeah, the girls are here have decided they're going to take a girls' trip to Disney World in a convertible, and I can't go. Yeah, and just for the record, Mike, when you read this or hear this, I wasn't the one making fun of you. Yeah, somebody timed Mike out, and he just went back to work. Sorry. I meant to make a comment earlier when I was waiting for Mike, and then I forgot about it. I saw Alexander's the video of Alexander marching in the I don't remember what you called it, the color guard or whatever, and looked pretty sharp. I guess that'll. No, never mind. I was thinking something else. Man, my mind's wandering. Oh, Garrett, you don't know how many. I started yawning. I can't stop. And this is gonna be sitting in that convertible with our costumes on, going down the road, flapping in the wind. I'm trying to read. Well, I might go back to bed anyway. Michelle, earlier, Brenda was asking the women how long it used to take us to get ready for a date back in the day. What's your answer? And then Brenda asked me, what did you say you were going to do? Get groceries in the pharmacy. I suppose, darling. Fun with flags. That's right, Garrett. He wants to know if anybody saw the coronation. Now, ladies, it's up to you whether you answer it or not. That book's gonna be hard to read. It's gonna be hard to hold up. It's heavy. Well, I'm gonna guess that you guys didn't get up to watch it because that would have been what time of the morning did you have to get up to see it? I don't even know when it was. Which is probably a dead giveaway. I didn't get up and see it. Garrett, I think this is because of you. Mr. Garrett, I've had this beard since my first child was born. I ain't cutting it off for you or anybody else. Who you talking to, Brenda Pruitt? Me? Oh, you're telling me I can go to the pharmacy and pick up pharmaceuticals for us, and I can tell. I'm trying to be good about that. I'm trying to live in harmony and not tell them how to line up. Um, I'll probably boil over and come home. Oh, like I said, I've had it for so long, I wouldn't know either. I doubt my kids would recognize me. I didn't open my mouth anyway. Oh, guys, I'm tell you what, I am getting tired. I'm gonna start shutting down. Now that Garrett and Michelle came here, it's time to go. What did Brenda say? Then you can tell everybody how cute. Oh yeah, never mind. I read that. You didn't stay in harmony when I told you to be quiet last night. Well, no, and that's not my fault. You're the one that broke the spell. You broke the harmony. Everything was going just fine. But you're right. I didn't stay harmonious. I had to get back to harmony. I had to recenter. Whew. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna sit down. I think it's 12. I really appreciate you guys staying with me. Yeah, I know it's been kind of a boring day today, but I don't know. I kind of had fun talking about stuff. I had an afternoon nap for 10, I think. I'll call and wake you up. Will you do that, Garrett? I might not answer the phone. I can turn that thing off. I know how to turn the ringer off. Gosh, once I get started yelling, I can't seem to stop. Well, thank you, Diane. I enjoyed it. All right, I'm starting to lose it. Kids want pancakes. Oh boy, can I come over? Yeah, I need. I'm probably going to be going to the store and going to the pharmacy here in a minute, so I probably need to get up and go do that before I fall asleep. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. Again, I appreciate you hanging around. I've enjoyed the morning, even though I didn't have a set schedule. We just kind of talked about things. So, but we had fun. We kicked Mike out of the room, took away his wrench, gave his wrench back. And now next time he's here, we're gonna kick some. He and I'll kick somebody out of the room. We'll have fun. Who's that on YouTube, Carol? Oh, Lord, it never take me there. So far, it hasn't done that. I was trying to keep reading for I. Oh, Tony at two. Is that Tony coming on at two? Okay. Is he going to be at Cedar Point today, or yeah, Cedar Point? Bye, guys. Better get over to the pharmacy. Have a good day, everybody. Maybe I'll see you online here in a little bit. Bye bye.